Imagine how you would feel if you were the only white man in one of Southeast Asia's harshest prisons, left to fend for yourself and survive against all odds. Billy Moore is a troubled young British man living in Thailand. Billy is a boxer. He has no family and lives alone in this foreign country. During the day, he spends his time at one of the local boxing stadiums, participating in brutal Muay Thai fights. A boy helps him prepare before entering the ring by applying wax and wrapping his hands with bandages. In one of the fights, Billy is knocked out, and the judge rules that he has lost the match. Enraged by the decision, Billy begins hitting everyone in the ring and is forcibly removed by a group of Thai men. Billy struggles with substance abuse. He is addicted to a drug called yaba. During the night, he spends his time in nightclubs, buying and selling the product. One morning, Billy is awakened by screaming and knocking at his door. He imagines it is the police, so he rushes to get rid of the incriminating evidence, hiding a bag of yaba in his underwear. The police kick down the door, pointing their guns at Billy. He tries to fight them, but they quickly subdue him and load him onto a truck. Billy is arrested and imprisoned. He manages to flush the bag of yaba he hid earlier down the toilet, but the police still charge him with possession of illegal firearms. Shortly after his conviction, Billy is loaded onto a prison bus that transfers him to the infamous Klong Prem prison, where he will serve his sentence. The guards force the newcomers to strip and visually inspect them to prevent the spread of disease and to keep hidden weapons from entering the prison. They show a special interest in Billy, the white foreigner. Afterward, they take his mugshot. As is customary in prison, they cut his hair and shave his beard. Then, the prisoners are escorted through the courtyard to the overcrowded cells. Billy is about to experience the harsh realities of life in a Thai prison. The inmates mock his appearance. One of the cellmates, a person named Tiffany, catches his attention, so he stops near her and lies down, exhausted by the experience. She informs him that she also has addiction problems. Billy and the other inmates are told that if anyone is caught gambling, smoking, or getting tattoos, they will be severely punished. The prison conditions are unbearable. In the cell, the inmates sleep directly on the floor piled next to each other. Getting water is no easy task. The prisoners literally have to fight each other to reach the water pond and collect some in a plastic bottle while others try to push them away. Billy gets into a fight with one of the prisoners after refusing to give him his water and, as a consequence, is detained by the guards for participating in the brawl. As punishment, he is put in solitary confinement, a metal cage so small he can barely move. What's worse, the isolation cell is made of metal, so the tropical sun during the day turns it into an oven. Sometime later, Billy is moved to a different cell and introduced to a group of heavily tattooed inmates who are highly respected in the prison hierarchy. The group's leader, Keng, takes an interest in Billy, speaking to him in broken English and asking questions about how he ended up in jail while the others watch. Fascinated by the unusual inmate, they begin to touch him, so he resists and tries to move away, but he cannot. Billy tells Keng that he has no family or money, that he lives alone in Thailand, and that he is a boxer. He went to prison for yaba. Keng and his group mock him, suggesting he is gay. They force him to do 20 push-ups. He tries to resist, but eventually complies reluctantly. They continue touching and mocking him while he does the exercise. When he finishes, he stands up. Keng's men continue to harass him, but he manages to break free and goes to sit in a corner. Billy observes the conflict that arises when a new prisoner does not show the proper respect to Keng's group. Keng intervenes and stops the fight quickly. During the night, Billy is attacked by Keng's men. They try to force him to have intimate relations with them. When he resists, they beat him and force him at knifepoint to watch as they rape another inmate instead. Billy watches terrified, intimidated by the man with the knife who threatens him not to say anything about the incident. Shocked by what happened, Billy lies down and tries to calm himself, while shaking and crying uncontrollably. The next morning, authorities discover that the man raped by the group took his own life. Keng's right-hand man keeps a close eye on Billy to ensure he maintains his silence. Later, Billy tries to get medicine from a prison official. The medicine is free, and Billy saw him give it to other prisoners, but the officer refuses to give it to Billy unless he pays for it. Enraged by the guards' smug attitude, Billy begins attacking the officers as they try to subdue him. He bites the neck of one of the guards and screams at the others in the most deranged way possible. However, they manage to knock him to the ground and beat him brutally. After the incident, the guards force Billy to walk in chains when he is outside the cell. Days pass as Billy adapts to prison life. One day, he and his cellmates see a group of female inmates approaching their block. Billy strikes up a conversation with one of them, Fame, who works at a stall selling cigarettes. Claiming he has no family or money, he asks her to give him some cigarettes, promising he will pay her later. She reluctantly agrees to give him a carton of cigarettes. Billy is kind to her, and they become friends. Billy exchanges the carton for the yaba that Keng's group is willing to provide him. Under the influence of the substance, he watches Keng's group as they shave a man's head, making the elaborate prison tattoos on his skull visible to everyone. Keng's men remove the fan blades, presumably to use them later. That same night, Billy is awakened by screams, the loud noise of the alarm, and guards banging on the bars. Prison officials conduct a surprise inspection of the cells. Keng, as the head of the cell, is asked why the fan blades are missing, but he claims not to know. The guards order Billy and his cellmates to vacate the cells and head to the courtyard. There, Billy sees the reason for the unusual inspection. The bodies of 3 guards were found in the courtyard. All prisoners are meticulously searched. At first, they find nothing on Billy, but then they bring in a dog that immediately points to his shirt. The guard tears it and finds yaba carefully hidden inside. Billy is in serious trouble. Keng's right-hand man advises him to confess, but Billy continues to claim it is not his. Being a perceptive man, the security chief realizes that the forbidden substance was undoubtedly given to Billy by a member of Keng's group. To show them his determination, he orders the guards to take the man from Keng's group who tried to interfere and make an example of him. They take him to a microphone and begin to beat him brutally, while the rest of the inmates listen to the terrifying sounds of the punishment being broadcast over the loudspeakers. Keng listens humiliated while one of his key men moans and begs for mercy. The next morning, Billy lines up in the cafeteria. He observes the conflict between the prisoners and the Muslim cooks serving the food. Curious about what is happening, he tries to approach the guard involved in the fight, but is reprimanded by another guard for his suspicious behavior. This guard uses Billy's addiction to manipulate him. He hands him a bag of yaba. Billy has a conflict with other inmates who try to steal the substance from him. Having no way to pay the guard back, Billy is forced to run errands for him. He orders him to beat up the Muslim cooks he had the conflict with before. He hesitates at first, but ends up doing it. The guard watches as Billy savagely beats the cooks. Later, he is annoyed because Billy caused too much damage, nearly resulting in a death. Billy's mental health deteriorates rapidly. Between the painful addiction he has no hope of overcoming and the alienating atmosphere of being the only white man in a Thai prison, surrounded by men who actively loathe him and constantly try to harm him, he despairs. Billy attempts to take his own life. A cellmate finds him semi-unconscious and rushes to call the authorities, narrowly saving Billy's life. A boy who helped Billy previously at the boxing stadium comes to visit him in jail. He says he is glad to see him, but Billy only looks at him with a sad and exhausted expression. The boy boasts about having had a fight and winning. Billy starts to cry. The boy is saddened to see his suffering, says goodbye, and leaves. Billy wants to change his life and thinks the best way to do so is to cling to what he knows best: boxing. He trains in the hope of boxing again. One day, he observes a fight among members of Keng's group. Keng, as usual, is annoyed by the constant disputes among his men and delivers a passionate speech about the brotherhood they share as men in prison, warning them to maintain discipline. The men seem to identify with his words. Pursuing his dream of boxing again, Billy enters the prison boxing gym, but the trainer won't let him try out despite his enthusiastic attempts to persuade him. Billy visits Fame and apologizes for not paying for the carton of cigarettes from before. Nevertheless, he asks her to give him more cigarettes, as he desperately needs them, so the trainer will at least let him try. He swears he will pay her this time. She reluctantly agrees. Billy gives the cigarettes to the trainer, and the trainer allows him to join the team. Billy puts on his gloves and shadow boxes for a while as the trainer watches him. Impressed by his skills, he calls him into the ring and finds him an opponent to see if he has what it takes to succeed. Being somewhat out of shape after months of neglecting his health, Billy struggles at first but still fights fiercely. In the cell meeting, Keng jokingly asks him about the fight. Despite the mockery, he and his group seem to develop respect for Billy now that he is a fighter again. Billy, watched by his peers, uses his inner rage in his intense workouts. He screams while he punches, drawing the attention of a small crowd that looks at him with confusion. Billy watches Keng's group as they start a fish fight, betting cigarettes. He joins them and bets a few cigarettes on one of the fish. The group members passionately cheer for their favorites. Eventually, one of the fish is defeated and the room fills with the laughter of the winners. Billy also won, but the man who took his bet refuses to give him the cigarettes. The man breaks a bottle and threatens to cut Billy if he doesn't back down. Keng intervenes and orders his subordinate to hand over his winnings. Billy thanks him for his help. He takes the cigarettes he won and brings them to Fame, paying off the debt he owed her. He confesses to her that he actually does have a family, a father and siblings, but they don't know he is in prison. Fame is in prison because she killed her own father. He used to beat her, so she felt she had no other choice. Billy comforts her as she cries, remembering her painful past. Bound by their pain, Billy and Fame develop a connection and become romantically involved. At the boxing stadium, Billy improves his skills in intense sessions with his sparring partner. He adapts quickly to the Muay Thai style. The trainer advises him to think more about how to attack. Kicking with the leg is a skill Billy needs to improve, as it is fundamental in this discipline. The trainer teaches him to be faster with his hands. Another partner tries to take Billy down. They struggle and choke each other until Billy ends up on the floor. Billy prepares for his first official fight. The trainer weighs him and calls out his opponent. The rival stares him down, trying to intimidate him, but Billy remains calm and confident. The opponent pushes Billy, so Billy jumps up, ready to fight right then and there. Spectators separate them. In the fight, Fame acts as the ring girl, announcing the rounds. By the fourth round, Billy seems exhausted. However, he fights with passion, combining punches with kicks, forcing the opponent to the ground. The opponent gets up and they continue. They exchange blows until Billy knocks him down again. In the end, he manages to corner him and knock him out for good. Billy is the winner. As the crowd celebrates his victory, Billy approaches the prison warden, Precha, and bows to him in a traditional show of respect. After the fight, Billy bathes, enjoying the company of other inmates, and also participates in traditional Buddhist prayer. Impressed by his performance, the warden transfers Billy to the boxing team's cell, where he will have privileges previously denied to him. The warden asks him to represent the prison in the National Muay Thai tournament to be held in another prison. Billy enthusiastically accepts. He will be the first foreigner to participate in such an event, which is a great honor. The warden hands him a letter from his father. He thanks the warden for his kindness and leaves. The guards arrive at Keng's cell to take Billy away. One of Keng's men, with whom Billy formed a close friendship, says goodbye to him. Billy leaves while Keng and his men watch him with respect and admiration. In his new cell, Billy relaxes and reads the letter from his father. Days pass, and Billy trains hard for the tournament. The other boxers are happy to help him and become close friends. One of them confesses to Billy that when he was arrested, he pleaded guilty on his girlfriend's advice, hoping to get out soon, but he was given 5 years. In prison, he went wild, turning the 5 years into a life sentence. The boxing team saved his life and gave him a purpose. Showing their respect, the boxers give him a traditional tattoo on his back. Several of them surround him and begin etching the design with a special needle and paint. The process is painful, and Billy groans, but he endures. When they finish, the boxer recites the ceremonial prayer to admit a new member while Billy keeps his hands in a prayer position. Billy watches his teammates practice their kicks. It's Billy's turn, but he still doesn't kick as well as he should to win a tournament. The trainer explains that to kick correctly, he must rotate his torso while moving his leg. He tries it and does much better. The boxers congratulate him on his progress. When he is not training, Billy visits Fame and they kiss. In his cell, Billy watches with detachment as the boxers argue with each other, similar to how Keng's men did. One day, Billy is shocked to find Fame with another man. He becomes enraged and threatens the man, trying to enter the cell to fight him. Billy feels betrayed and ashamed, filled with rage. He begins buying yaba from Keng's men again. His anger causes him trouble when, in one of the training sessions, he loses control and starts brutally beating a teammate on the ground. Seeing this, the guards take him away and put him in an isolation cell, where he vents his frustration against the walls and water bottles. He does push-ups and looks at the image of a demon on the wall. Day after day, Billy spends his time exercising. When he is released and taken back to the boxers, he is immediately attacked by the teammate he beat before. The others separate them. Billy tries to apologize for his behavior, and although he is furious at first, the boxer reluctantly accepts his apology. Billy continues his training, working on his kicks and push-ups. One night, Fame and two other women enter the boxer's cell to perform. Billy is thrilled to see his love. Fame announces in English that she is going to sing a song about a woman willing to wait forever for the man she loves, a clear reference to Billy. Fame sings in Thai, getting emotional as she looks at Billy. He looks back at her with a sad expression and enjoys the bittersweet song about their love. When the song ends, the boxers cheer while Billy looks shy. During training, the trainer teaches him to deliver a quick spinning elbow strike. While his lead hand blocks the opponent, his technique improves. Billy owes money to Keng's group for all the yaba they lent him. He tries to convince them that the money will come because he has a big fight soon. They surround him and throw him to the ground. While others hold him down, one of the members threatens him with a needle. Keng makes it clear that if he loses the tournament, he will lose his life. Billy is deeply affected by the experience. He gets sick during training and the trainer has to stop the practice. Billy runs to the bathroom and vomits. Later, the doctor informs him that his substance abuse and severe boxing injuries have caused an internal rupture in his system. If he receives more damage, he faces serious risks. Despite his weakness, Billy intends to participate and win. He continues training, preparing for the challenges ahead. Billy and the other boxers are loaded onto a truck that will take them to the tournament. He enjoys the tropical landscape of rural Thailand through the window. Arriving at the other prison, Billy walks slowly toward the preparation room, observing the stadium. Assistants bandage his hands and Billy makes final preparations with his trainer. He is put in a cell for a while where Billy cries from the unbearable pain of destroying his own body. The time for the fight approaches and Billy walks down slowly. As he walks, he hears the ominous sound of the bell. Local prisoners watch him closely as he approaches the ring. In the stadium, Billy is greeted with cheers. He bows to the guards as tradition dictates and enters the ring. In the ring, Billy and his opponent perform the pre-fight ritual dance known as Waikru Ram Muay. That curious rope object on the fighters' foreheads is called a mong kon. It is a sacred headband blessed by trainers or monks that symbolizes respect for the gym and Thai culture. It is removed before the match begins. The ritual ends and Billy prepares. Initially, the fight goes well. He manages to block attacks and hit hard, but things take a turn when Billy is cornered and takes a hard blow to the stomach. Despite the injury, he gets up and continues. He manages to pin his rival against the ropes and begins to choke him. The round ends and Billy falls to the floor. The opponent, in the most cowardly way, kicks Billy while he is down. Billy's trainer is outraged, but the fight is allowed to continue. In the next round, Billy presses aggressively, exchanging blows. Finally, Billy manages to knock him out with a spinning elbow strike. He is the winner. Billy watches the crowd cheering for him, barely able to stand. The injuries are too severe, so Billy loses consciousness and falls. The trainer rushes in to try and save his life. An ambulance transfers Billy to the hospital. When he wakes up, he finds himself in a bed with his legs chained. A nurse greets him and he asks to go to the bathroom. She escorts him while a policeman watches them. But the nurse gets distracted and leaves, so Billy takes advantage of her absence to slip behind the policeman and enter the elevator. Downstairs, he dodges another policeman at the main entrance and leaves the building when the officer is distracted by the arrival of another ambulance. Billy walks aimlessly through the streets, remembering the events that led him there. He ends up in the poor suburbs, walking along an abandoned train track. He stops, realizing he has nowhere to go. There is nothing in that city for him, no future. Billy reconsiders his escape and returns to the hospital. After being discharged, Billy returns to prison. One day, the guards take him to see a visitor. It is his father. By the way, this movie is based on a true story. Billy Moore is a real person who survived Thai prison and wrote the book adapted for this film. Interestingly, Billy's father here is played by the real Billy Moore himself. A clever cameo. Billy and his father smile at each other, happy to meet after a long time. The final credits reveal that after serving 3 years in the Thai prison, Billy Moore was transferred to a UK prison. and later released by a pardon from the King of Thailand in October 2010. Since his release, Billy has dedicated his life to working with other addicts and fighting to maintain his own recovery. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.